movement a little bit. Okay, welcome and good afternoon. Welcome to another press conference. Happy to have Commissioner Reynders once more with us in the press room, as announced on a different but equally very important topic. We are going to present to you today the first green consumption pledges, or a new initiative called the Green Consumption Pledge, together with some companies who have taken commitments. Commissioner, please.
Merci beaucoup. Tout d'abord, très heureux de revenir à nouveau après avoir parlé de la libre circulation en cette période de pandémie et de Covid-19 pour parler plutôt d'engagements pris par un certain nombre de compagnies dans le cadre de notre Green Deal et de la volonté d'avancer aussi vers une consommation par les citoyens européens plus respectueuse de la durabilité. Donc, mesdames, messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be with you, with the representative of the participating companies. And good afternoon. It is very important and it's an honor to present to you, in fact, the pilot phase of the Commission's Green Consumption Pledge. Before the pandemic, the average carbon footprint of a consumer in the European Union was around 7 tons of CO2 per year. When it comes to addressing climate change, governments can and should set targets. They can and should pledge their commitment by signing international treaties or agreements like the Paris Agreement. But the simple fact is that without commitment from businesses, progress will not be made. And without consumers choosing to shop sustainably, progress will not be made. The European Commission, under the Climate Pact and this 2 days initiative, is inviting people, communities and organizations to participate in climate action and build on greener Europe. Surveys show that consumers have the will to act and consume more sustainably, but they often do not know how exactly to do it. Businesses can help them by making sure the right products, information and incentives are available. Companies taking voluntary steps in this direction must be encouraged to be bold and must be made visible. It's not new. We have organized some pledges for the safety of the products, but we try also to do that to go in a more sustainable way. And so it gives me great pleasure to welcome the CEOs and representatives of different major European companies and one SME et under. Mr. AGON, Monsieur AGON, le CEO de L'Oréal, que je salue. Thank you for your participation. Mr. Colruyt, CEO of the Colruyt Group. Mr. WAASDORP, Managing Director of Renewed, SME from the Netherlands. Mrs. GUYADER, Deputy CEO and CSO, Chief Sustainability Officer of Decathlon. Bienvenue. And Mr. McMullen, Director of the LEGO Group, on behalf of Mr. Brooks, Vice President for Environmental Responsibility. You have agreed to participate to the pilot phase of the Green Consumption Pledge, to be pioneers and to take the first commitments under this initiative. The pledges that you are taking today are designed for the non-food sector, and they represent an important commitment to improving your own environmental impact, either by calculating the carbon footprint of the company, including the supply chain, and disclosing your reduction progress to the public, or by reducing the carbon footprint of selected flagship products, and by pledging to increase the sale of these products. Some of you have taken commitments on all of these points. But above all, the pledges are also an important commitment to your consumers. Consumers can only make the right sustainable choices if there is enough information available. Indeed, they want to know what is the environmental footprint of a product or service, its brand and its company. And yes, some consumers are even willing to spend more for sustainability, but first, they need to know they can trust a product or service is truly sustainable. Therefore, by joining the pilot phase and by signing a green pledge today, you are also committing to making progress across two other areas, ensuring consumers are given clear and easy to access information about the carbon footprint of the company and products. This includes providing up-to-date information about any reductions or increases in carbon footprint and dedicating part of your corporate public relations expenditure to the promotion of sustainable practices and causes. By doing these things, you are not only committing to addressing your own environmental impact as a company, but you will empower your consumers to make sustainable choices. This is one of the main objectives in the new consumer agenda, which the Commission adopted last year. The sustainable transition should be exactly that, sustainable for the environment, but sustainable for the individual too. Our aim is to support citizens through the green transition. I'm very happy that these companies here share this goal, and so, without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to you, because it's very important to see that it's possible for some companies to take voluntary commitment in such a way. Merci beaucoup en tout cas pour votre participation aujourd'hui et pour la présentation que vous allez réaliser des engagements pris par vos différentes compagnies à l'égard de vos consommateurs.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Commissaire. And we will now turn to the representatives of these pioneering companies and hear a few words from each of them before we then will later on, of course, have a chance for the journalists connected to ask some questions. So first, let's go to Monsieur Jean-Paul AGON, s'il vous plaît, L'Oréal.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioner Reynders. On behalf of L'Oréal, I would like to say that we are very honored to be one of the 5 companies to participate in the pilot phase of the Green Consumption Pledge. We all know that collectively we have just 1 decade to act. This is why we fully support the European Green Deal as well as the new consumer agenda. They are stimulating bold actions and collaborations. They are charting a critical path forward for Europe to be at the forefront. Today we stand with the European Commission and make the 5 following commitments. First, L'Oréal commits to achieve carbon neutrality for all its operated sites worldwide by 2025. We have already reduced our carbon emission worldwide by 80% since 2005, and this new target goes a step further to put us in line with the only possible scenario for humanity, the Earth's planetary limits. Carbon neutrality is a key pillar of our ambitious new sustainability program, L'Oréal for the Future, launched last June. Our second commitment concerns our products. In the last few years, we have completely reinvented the way we design and make our products to integrate sustainability at every stage. We made this commitment in 2013, and in 2020, 95% of our new and renovated products featured an improved environmental or social profile. We now pledge to deepen our efforts to reduce the environmental footprint of our products from the 2019 baseline. We will start this year with the shampoo category and will share progress on an annual basis. Our third commitment is linked directly to the second. We pledge to expand our footprint reduction commitment for new products by at least 1 category every year. Fourth, we pledge to share the environmental impact of our products. We believe it is our responsibility to inspire and empower our 1.5 billion consumers around the world. It starts with providing clear and transparent information, because the more our consumers know, the better they can act and make informed, sustainable choices. Finally, we commit to reporting our progress in our annual L'Oréal for the Future report, available at l'oreal.com. These pledges reflect L'Oréal's commitment at this pivotal moment for our planet. It is our responsibility not only to radically transform ourselves, but to embark our entire ecosystem. Only together can we achieve real impact. We are proud to play our part, reducing our impact and working in partnership with the European Commission and consumers to build a sustainable future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's go next to Mr. Jeff Colruyt, CEO of the Colruyt Group.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but
the
camera is a bit pointing towards the wrong direction, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it.
If I may suggest, maybe we should we come back to you in a moment. We'll try to figure out the camera.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Great.
Come back to you in a second.
Yeah.
And let's go to Mr. WAASDORP, Managing Director of Renewed.
Thank you. Yearly in the EU, e-waste exceeds 12 million tons. That's almost 14 tons of e-waste an hour that ends up on a landfill. At Renew, we care about the environment and we wanted to do something about this growing problem. Our company started with a dream to help to reduce e-waste. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is PIETER WAASDORP, and today I represent Renewed. We produce, promote and sell premium use devices in Europe. On behalf of Renewed, I would like to thank Mr. Reynders, EU Commissioner for Justice and Consumer Protection, and his staff for allowing our company to be part of this exciting new initiative, the Green Consumption Pledge. We started the Green Mobile Phone Revolution in 2014 and have come a long way since. We are proud to be such a good company as a relatively new and small business. Our dream of reducing e-waste, lowering the carbon footprint and reducing the usage of precious metals and valuable drinking water in Europe, however, have never been so tangible as today. By giving used electronics a second life, we directly extend the lifespan of these products and prevent them from becoming e-waste much too early. That's what Renew stands for, day in, day out. As Renewed, we feel proud to be part of this event and to commit ourselves to our pledges alongside these large companies. Together, we aim to contribute to a more sustainable future, and our everyday processes and products are a perfect example of this. I would like to illustrate the everyday impact we make with our products. For instance, producing a new modern notebook generates the same carbon emission as a Boeing 747 flying for 128 hours. 80% of the total carbon emission in a lifetime of a smartphone is emitted during its production. By using a premium, affordable, Renew device, enormous environmental savings are made every day. This is not a dream anymore, but daily reality. Today we go even further. To begin with, starting in 2021, we pledge to calculate the carbon footprint of our used products compared to the use of new products and reduce it by 20% in 2023. Furthermore, we commit ourselves to expand our product range even further with other used products in order to give the European consumer more options in choosing a sustainable alternative to new. Together with our partners, Renewed will invest heavily in informing European consumers even more clearly that they have an environmental and sustainable option by using a premium used or refurbished device with full warranty included. Moreover, we pledge that the information provided to European consumers related to the carbon footprint, usage of precious metals and water of our products will be permanently available on our web pages and regularly updated, at least every quarter, and it will be designed to be easy to access, accurate and clear. We challenge the EU, its member states and the other pledging companies to start using more used and refurbished products. This will help us all to reach our environmental goals even faster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let us go back now to Mr. Jeff Colruyt. Yes. Now we can see you much better. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. So we're happy to be on board of the pilot. As a retailer, Colruyt Group its mission is to create sustainable added value along the whole supply chain, from the farm to the fork to the bin and even further, as we just heard. And conscious of this constant interaction, we have engaged ourselves for many years already to passionately learn, adapt and improve our craftsmanship to create value in an as sustainable way as possible. And this is the commitment of our organization, hence our mission states: together we create sustainable added value through our value-driven craftsmanship in retail. Sustainability entrepreneurship is part of our DNA. As a business, we rely on Mother Earth's raw material and energy sources, and we want to continue performing our task as a retailer with maximum respect for the earth and what she gives us. Our sustainability approach shows how we organize ourselves to do so. So first, we are inspired by the spirit of the SDGs, and then we have 12 different programs on working context, on animal welfare, health, agriculture, raw materials, and so on, which include more than 150 projects. We carefully take into account the people, the environment, and the products that are involved in the whole value chain. And then we go in cooperation and communication with our stakeholders. On the above side, you see it, especially the customers. We aspire to help and inspire them on consumer-related themes such as health, society, animal welfare, and environment. Our first focus is to avoid unnecessary usage of primary resources. And we started there with the renewable energy production, wind turbines on land and sea, as well as solar panels. So the CO2 emissions we managed to avoid, thanks to these investments in green energy, now exceed our absolute emissions. And secondly, in order to reduce the negative impact of our retail activities, we get insights through the calculation of an OEF, organizational environmental footprint, every 2 years, and we'll start within the month with the baseline of the number data of 2020. And our ambition is to reduce by 2030 our relative reduction of CO2, scope 1 and 2, by minimum 40%. In fact, this morning we had a discussion on how we're going to get our transport CO2 neutral by 2035 through hydrogen trucks, electric trucks, and so on. But it's still a lot of work to be done. We also commit to encourage green and sustainable behavior, firstly working together in partnership with the farmers and the producers, and also with everybody, the customers, interest groups, with our step-by-step program to communicate as openly, as informatively as possible. We're going to launch a lot of new initiatives, 3 large awareness-raising campaigns the next year. And then in the end, we commit also to accessible information through our reporting and through, especially also for younger people, students, and so on, to go into interaction with them, because the future solutions will have to found out yet by the students, the engineers, which are studying now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we go to Ms. GUYADER, Isabelle GUYADER, Deputy CEO and CSO of Decathlon.
Bonjour. Merci, Commissaire Reynders. Good afternoon. I'm Isabelle GUYADER, Decathlon Deputy General Manager and Chief Sustainability Officer since 2015. As a mother of three, I have been a fan of Decathlon's products for years, which allow me to practice leisure and sporting activities with my family and discover amazing places to enjoy nature. I am here to share with you who we are at Decathlon and explain the reason why we are here to make this pledge with you today. Every day at Decathlon, our mission is sport for the many. It all started in Europe in 1976. Since then, we have sold and later designed and produced our own branding sport products. We are now present in 59 countries around the world, including 23 out of the 27 European countries. At Decathlon, we have been aware of our sustainable development stakes for a long time. Human responsibility in production, eco-design product. We made our first carbon footprint in 2012. Today, 100,000 of our teammates innovate each and every day in service of these stakes, and Decathlon is proud to commit to ambitious sustainable targets by 2026, which are explained in detail in our transition plan. At Decathlon, we have a tendency to act more than we talk, and that's where we want to improve. Reducing our own impact is good, but we know that it's not enough. European teammates, customers, and sports users expect us to be a partner in the transition which we are living. Through eco-design products with a lower environmental impact, through new ways of consumption, like second-hand products or rental, through new sport practices more sustainable for our environment. With each of them, we test every day new solutions for the problems of tomorrow. But we want to go further, working with you, European institutions, companies and associations. These stakes are bigger than us, and we are aware that we cannot win alone but together. That's why today I'm glad, on behalf of Decathlon, to be a part of the first signatories of the Green Consumption Pledge to open the way with you and empower European people toward a sporting and sustainable future.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, let me introduce the representatives of LEGO. We will see a recorded video by Mr. Tim Brooks, VP Environmental Responsibility, introduced by Director Andrew McMullen. Mr. McMullen, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank Commissioner Reynders and the Commission services for creating this pledge pilot. We believe this initiative will further strengthen our commitments on sustainability within the LEGO Group. We're really proud to be one of the pledge pioneers. We're excited to learn from this process and be inspired by the thought leaders and, of course, the other pledge pioneers related to this project. The LEGO Group is a family-owned Danish company, and it has a strong manufacturing presence in Europe, as well as significant renewable investments in the bloc. Being family-owned enables us to look into the long term and consider our impact on future generations. We support the idea that ensuring customers are aware of their impact and the choices they have on sustainability is a vital component to transitioning to a green economy. In 2021, the LEGO Group will focus on 3 commitments. We will focus on carbon emissions. We have already set a target to reduce our emissions of our entire value chain by 37%. We will do that by investing in renewable technology and ensuring that any new buildings we create are of the highest standard. Of course, we cannot do that on our own, so we commit to ensuring our strategic suppliers come with us on this journey and begin to embed sustainability into their own organisations and their own value chains. We will also accelerate our research and development into materials to create more sustainable products and packaging, which ultimately reduce our environmental impacts. The second item we will focus on is the promotion of sustainable practices. We will design programs and pilot educational content to engage with children on sustainability topics. We will evaluate and expand our donation pilot program, which also focuses on sustainability. And we'll focus on major communication events throughout the year, which may include Earth Day. Our third commitment is around the availability of our carbon information. So we will commit to using the EU's EMAS scheme to be able to show progress on our targets, and we will communicate those on a regular basis. So with that, I will hand over to the video from our VP, Tim Brooks.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Brooks, Vice President of Environmental Responsibility for the LEGO Group. We're a company that looks to children as our role models, and we're inspired by the many children who've written to us, calling for action to make the world more sustainable. They're one of the reasons why we've set ourselves an ambitious goal of making a positive impact on the planet our children will inherit. The LEGO Group strongly welcomes Commissioner Reynders' Pledge initiative. In line with our 2022 sustainability strategy, the Pledge will support us in our efforts to meet our sustainability promises to the public. We want the LEGO Group and the iconic LEGO brick to evolve as the world transitions to a more sustainable economy. And we want to empower consumers to make more sustainable choices. Businesses need to play a core role in this transition to a low-carbon and circular economy. And we know we can't do this alone. This is why we're committed to joining forces with legislators, consumers, experts, and partners to work together to have a positive impact on the planet. You'll find in our pledge a clear set of voluntary commitments as we strive to inspire the children of today to become the builders of a more sustainable tomorrow. We also want to ensure that we hold ourselves accountable and play our part to protect people and the planet. On behalf of the LEGO Group, I would like to congratulate Commissioner Reynders and the Commission for the initiative and wish you a very successful launch of the pledge. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all these contributions. I'll hand once more back to Commissioner Reynders before we go to your questions.
No, thank you very much. Thank you first for your comments about the initiative launched by the Commission, but I want to thank these pioneering companies for joining the pilot phase and for taking commitment under this initiative. These first commitments are normally now behind me on the screen, but they're also available online in full on the Commission's website, so it's possible to read the complete text of the different commitments. And to conclude, I don't want to be too long, and just to stress that this initiative does not stop today. I know that there are other companies interested in joining too, such as H&M Group, Erste Group, NG, Philips. We have seen today companies coming from France, from Denmark, from the Netherlands, from Belgium, but of course we try to be in contact with many companies coming from all over the European Union. And the pilot phase of the Green Consumption Pledge will be open until March 31. I encourage and welcome any other companies willing to be pioneers to reach out to us. It will be good to have a better geographical representativeness, I said, over the EU as well as other sectors. For companies operating in the food sector, my colleague Commissioner Kyriakides is launching a parallel and complementary initiative tomorrow, which I invite them to join. Over the course of this pilot phase, we'll evaluate how the process is working. I would very much like to hear from the companies and business associations on the process that works as well as what doesn't work. I also encourage the active involvement of the European consumer organisations and NGOs. Their insight will be valuable to keep check of progress, improve the process, and are always helpful. I propose to meet all together again a bit later this year. Once this evaluation is over, we will open up the pledge to all companies next year with the good experience from this pilot phase. I want to thank today, I said, pioneering green pledgers once again for the commitment to improving their environmental impact and to helping their consumers improve theirs too. And such kind of event is the occasion to say that we work on a pilot project. Then we will discuss, I said, with all the different stakeholders and certainly the NGOs and the consumer organizations to be sure that we are going in the good direction. And next year, again, it will be possible to launch real pledges with real commitment from the different companies after such a very good pilot phase. Merci beaucoup à nouveau de votre participation à cet événement aujourd'hui parce que nous donnons le coup d'envoi d'ici fin mars. J'espère que beaucoup d'autres compagnies vont nous rejoindre des différents pays d'Europe et de différents secteurs. Et après l'évaluation de cette phase pilote, début d'année prochaine, nous aurons l'occasion de lancer réellement ces engagements à travers l'ensemble des secteurs le plus largement possible et l'ensemble des États membres. Merci encore.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. We have, of course, a press release online. You can find it at Press Corner, as usual, which will also lead you to the actual pledges that the Commissioner just mentioned. And now, without any further delay, let's open the floor for your questions. I see a first question from Anna. Now we see you, but we can't hear you.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Ah oui, maintenant ça marche, oui.
Ok. J'avais une petite question. Merci d'abord pour cette conférence de presse. J'ai pas très bien compris la différence entre la phase pilote et ensuite ce qui allait changer en 2022 à partir du moment où l'initiative prendre de l'ampleur. Est-ce que c'est simplement une question de meilleure représentation géographique et sectorielle ou est-ce que les engagements seront plus importants ou qu'ils seront davantage monitorés par la Commission européenne? Est-ce que vous pouvez simplement expliquer la différence entre une phase pilote jusqu'en mars et puis ce qui va se passer après en 2022? Merci.
Merci. Donc, tout d'abord, vous avez donné vous-même une partie de la réponse, puisque l'objectif est évidemment d'étendre cette phase pilote à d'autres secteurs et à d'autres compagnies venant d'un plus grand nombre d'États membres. Donc, cela se fera déjà pendant la phase pilote jusqu'à la fin mars, mais surtout, cela se fera lorsque nous lancerons les opérations encore plus largement au début de l'année prochaine. Donc, la première idée est d'avancer progressivement dans cette direction. La deuxième idée est effectivement de préciser les engagements et de préciser les règles de fonctionnement. Ici, nous avons pris un certain nombre d'entreprises qui s'engagent effectivement très clairement, auxquelles nous demandons d'appliquer des méthodologies reconnues au niveau européen pour calculer l'empreinte de leurs opérations comme l'empreinte de leurs produits. Mais bien entendu, nous allons maintenant débattre, je l'évoquais tout à l'heure, de cette façon de travailler pendant la phase pilote avec les associations de consommateurs, avec un certain nombre d'ONG très présentes dans le secteur, mais aussi avec les associations représentatives des entreprises. Et donc, avec l'aide des entreprises qui prennent aujourd'hui des engagements dans la phase pilote, on va préciser quel sera le cadre exact des engagements à prendre l'année prochaine sur base d'une évaluation que nous aurons réalisée au cours de l'année. Donc, c'est à la fois confirmer, renforcer les engagements et les méthodologies utilisées, mais c'est aussi étendre, bien entendu, l'initiative à toute une série d'autres secteurs et d'autres acteurs économiques.
Merci. Prochaine question pour Catherine FEORE.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Perfectly well.
So my question is, over the years, the Commission has tried to reduce packaging, and it's faced fierce resistance from companies. And so these ideas have not been, they aren't a bolt from the blue. They've been around for some time. And, I'm just wondering, as companies, why haven't you taken more action already? These agreements are voluntary. Do you think, will the Commission be taking further action if these voluntary commitments do not really amount to any significant changes? Thank you.
No, thanks for the remarks, because it's one of the goals when we are working with some pledges, not only for the green consumption pledges, but maybe also about safety of products and other kind of issues related to the consumers. if it's possible to show that we have a real effect with voluntary commitments, it's maybe a good basis to go to a legislative initiative later and to try to have a level playing field, of course, between all the different actors in the same sector or in general. So it's true that it's not just to say we are trying something with the pledges, but we try to fix the base for maybe later a legislative initiative. Of course, in the same way than the pledges that we are preparing today with the pilot phase, we will work on some legislative initiative during this year and during the implementation of the consumer agenda. But it's true that it's all the time to ask to some pioneers to do more than the legislation or the regulation, and then to see, of course, if it's possible for all to do the same on a voluntary basis or to do the same due to the fact that we will come with a legislative initiative. Of course, it's an ongoing process.
Thank you very much. I don't see any further questions at this stage, which I think is well understandable after 2 press conferences and 1 technical briefing. So thank you very much for staying with us. Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you very much also to the representatives of the companies. Once more, this closes press conference.
Thank you.